Quick question before we even start. Do you actually know your own blood type? If you do, drop it in the comments right now before you keep watching. We're coming back to this in a minute, and I want to see how many of each type show up. Every single human on Earth has blood, but not the same blood. There are 8 major types, and the reason they exist is one of the stranger stories in human biology. Here's the thing. Blood type has nothing to do with color, thickness, or how strong your blood is. It comes down to something microscopic, tiny marker molecules sitting on the surface of your red blood cells, called antigens. Think of them like little flags planted on each cell. Some people's cells fly an A flag, some fly a B flag, some fly both, and some fly no flag at all. That's what makes you type O. Pause for a second and picture that in your head, millions of red blood cells, each one flying a tiny molecular flag you can't see. And that flag is the entire reason blood types exist. Kind of wild, right? This wasn't even known until 1901. Before that, doctors had been trying blood transfusions for centuries, and a shocking number of patients died from it, with no idea why. Sometimes a transfusion worked fine. Other times, the patient's body violently rejected it. An Austrian scientist named Karl Landsteiner finally figured out the reason. He started mixing blood samples from different people in test tubes and noticed that sometimes the samples clumped together, and sometimes they didn't. That clumping was the immune system attacking blood it didn't recognize. That discovery is why blood typing exists today. And it's a big part of why blood transfusions went from a deadly gamble to one of the safest routine procedures in modern medicine. If you had to guess, what do you think happens inside your body when it receives the wrong type of blood? Pause the video for 5 seconds and think about it, then keep watching, because the answer is more dramatic than you'd expect. Here's what's actually happening. Your immune system is constantly on patrol, checking for anything that doesn't belong. If your blood type is A, your body already knows the A flag is normal, but it will attack B-flagged cells on site, like an intruder alarm going off. That's why mixing the wrong blood types is dangerous. It's not that the blood itself is bad, it's that your own immune system attacks it. This is where it gets interesting. Type O blood has no flags at all, so no immune system flags it as an intruder. That's why type O is called the universal donor. But type AB blood has both flags already. So an AB person's immune system doesn't attack A or B blood coming in, making AB the universal recipient. If you commented your blood type at the start of this video, are you starting to see where you fit into this system? Keep it in mind, we're going to come back to it. There's also a second layer to this most people forget about, the Rh factor. That's the positive or negative part of your blood type. It's a separate marker, present or absent, which is why there are 8 total types instead of just 4. A positive, a negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, O negative. So why didn't evolution just settle on one best blood type for everyone? The honest answer, scientists don't have one single confirmed reason, but there are a few strong theories. One leading theory is disease resistance. Different blood type antigens appear to make people more or less vulnerable to specific infections. For example, some research has linked type O blood to lower risk of severe malaria, while other studies link certain types to different susceptibility to cholera and other pathogens. If a particular blood type gave a survival edge against whatever disease was dominant in a region, that type would have become more common there over generations, which is part of why blood type distribution varies noticeably around the world today. Before I tell you, take a guess. Which blood type do you think is the most common worldwide? Type O, Type A, or Type B? Lock in your guess in the comments, then keep watching. Type O is the most common blood type globally, though the exact mix shifts a lot depending on the region. A great example of how a trait that seems purely medical is also in part a story about human migration and disease history. Here's the part almost nobody knows. Type O negative blood, the universal donor type, is actually one of the rarest blood types in the world, making up less than 7% of the population in most countries. That means the blood type hospitals rely on most in true emergencies, when there's no time to test a patient's exact type, is also one of the hardest to keep in stock. This is a big reason blood donation drives specifically call out O-negative donors. Hospitals are almost always short on it, and here's a genuinely strange twist. Your blood type can occasionally seem to change. Not because your genetics changed, but because of certain cancers, infections, or bone marrow transplants that can temporarily or permanently alter which antigens show up on your blood cells. It's rare, but it does happen, and it's one of the reasons doctors retest blood type before major transfusions, even if a patient already has it on record. If you found out today that you were O negative, would you consider donating blood? Comment yes or no. I'm genuinely curious how many people would. So to bring it all the way back, Your blood type comes down to tiny molecular flags on your red blood cells, discovered by one scientist mixing samples in test tubes over 100 years ago, shaped over generations by which diseases your ancestors were fighting off, and it still plays a life or death role in hospitals today. Now scroll back up to the comment you left at the start. Did knowing the science change how you think about your own blood type at all? I want to hear it. If this was the kind of "why does my body do that" deep dive you're into, subscribe. I'm doing one of these every single day this week. And if you haven't seen it yet, I made a video on why some people are left-handed right here.